Hey y'all, Banjo Dan here with another installment of the Eclectic Banjo. Today's video will be focused on installing a new tailpiece, tuning pegs, resonator thumb screws, bridge, and strings of my Nechville Phantom Banjo. I will also present at the end of the video a sound test of what the banjo sounded like before the parts were replaced and what it sounds like afterwards. And now, let the tinkering begin. Before I start tinkering with the setup, I like to make sure I have all the parts and tools I need. I like to use GHS's light to medium light gauge strings on my banjos. This pack here is a 10, 20, 12, 11, 10 combination. I'm going to try out a 3/4 inch height, 2.85 grams, radius compensated bridge from Nechville, which will be an increase in action, but should provide a slightly warmer tone. I'll be changing out to powdered black tuning pegs and tailpiece to match my ebony fretboard and overall dark ambiance. As for tools, I've always found a headlamp to be useful to oversee my tasks. Screwdrivers, Allen wrenches, an adjustable wrench, and wire cutters will all be used, as well as a tape measurer and pencil for the bridge. And lastly, cleaning brushes. It's always a good idea to pencil mark the backside of the bridge, since proper tuning relies so much on bridge placement. I first loosen the pegs enough to cut the old strings in half without snapping them. Then I loosen the nuts on the top of the old tuners and unscrew the backside mounting screws. Once everything is bare, I dust and polish. I then reverse the process to install the powdered black tuners. To restring the banjo, first hook the loop into the tailpiece and then snake it up. Strings 1 and 2 are fed out to the right and tightened clockwise, and 3, 4, and 5 are fed out to the left and tightened counterclockwise. To lock the string in place, wrap each string under itself once and then cinch it upwards before tightening the tuning peg. Once all strings are tightened and tuned to their approximate location, I further tighten the strings by pulling them upward around the head area. Finally, I cut the excess string right above the top of each tuning peg and then curled the remnant around its peg rod to reduce finger pricks. The tunneled 5th string is channeled through the hole at the 5th fret and comes out of another hole at the base of the peg head. I like to adjust the tailpiece so that it's parallel with the banjo head. Approximate bridge placement can be determined by measuring the distance between the nut and the 12th fret, which should be the same as the distance from the 12th fret to where the bridge should be placed. Going by the pencil marks from the former bridge location works too. Overall, I think the black resonator thumb screws, tailpiece, and tuners complement the neck and galaxy-style mystique of my Nechville banjo well. Now that I've changed out the parts and tuned it back to the standard G tuning, let's see how it sounds. significant difference between the two setups resides in the bridge. The new bridge is a little bit taller and a little bit heavier than the previous one, which will provide a slightly warmer tone, which it sounded like I achieved. What are your thoughts about the setup and the sound? Feel free to leave a comment down below, and if you felt any of this was helpful, I'd certainly appreciate a like and a subscribe. We'll see you next time at the Eclectic Banjo.